Hey everybody. So I'm going to kind of do a little combo video here. I wanted to jump on here and give you guys a follow-up. Several of you had mentioned it. A follow-up from this past weekend's event. It was a 3-day. It's Bella Rustina, which is a big event here that comes several times a year. Anyway, so I had a booth to sell my journals and my collage work, and this is only my second time doing this at a event, and so I'm new to this, very new to this, and it went pretty okay. I mean, I was pleased with it. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I haven't 100% decided if I'll do it again, all that kind of stuff. I know I won't. They did it in March, and they did it this weekend, and then they'll do it July, September, and November. And I don't think I'm going to do July and September, mainly because I don't have the inventory right now for all that, because July will be here before we know it. And so my plan right now is to spend the summer and build up my inventory, and then I'll catch some holiday shows, October, November, into the holidays. That's my plan. So anyways, how did it go? It went really well. Again, this is my second event. This one was much bigger than the first one I did. The first one I did had like maybe 60 vendors. This event had 300 plus vendors, so it was quite a bit larger. But it was good. A lot of traffic. I handed out my business card, talked to several people about doing some custom orders, and I sold 2 of my collage pieces, 6 journals, and this is kind of funny to me, 7 of those bookmarks that I recently did in one of my videos. So, and I say it's weird to me because it's Friday, Saturday, I sold some journals and some collage work and 1 bookmark. And the other 6 bookmarks I sold on Sunday, and that was it. That's all I sold on Sunday was bookmarks. So it was weird. But it was good. I made enough money to cover my booth fee and a little money in my pocket walking away, so I'm good. It was good. I haven't 100% decided my 100% feelings on it, if I'll do it again or whatever. I know I won't do July or September. I may do the November one, maybe. Anyways, so I wanted to jump on here and give you guys that little update. And of course, while I was there, I had to do my own shopping. I got me a ceramic pottery bowl, like a cereal bowl. It's over there in the dish wash right now, so I don't have it to show you, but it's a basic, simple, cereal bowl. I love handmade pottery like that, and anytime I see it at a show and it's a good size bowl, I tend to get it. Especially if it's a good price, and this was a good price. So I got that, and then I got really cool, I can't put it all on the screen because it's so big, but I'll show you kind of like as much as I can of it. I got this. This is a roll. You can see how much is in there. There are 3 pads that are like blueprints. They're blueprints for like some drive, because here's Martin Luther King Bridge, here's the river. This talks about the cobblestone slope and the curb and the street. Connect to existing street lighting conduit. So yeah, it's old. I haven't you know, unrolled it to see exactly what all is going on with it, but it is quite a bit big sheets. Blueprints. There's 3 of them. And the paper is, you know, how when you find vintage paper, sometimes it's so crumbly and dry rotted that it's not worth anything for us to work with. But this is some pretty solid stuff, and it's not too crispy, and it's not dried, and there's a lot of it. So I was pretty excited about this. The people in the booth next to me were selling a lot of, their booth was made up of a lot of war documents and war coins and things like that. And so I came bringing this back to my booth, and they're like, ooh, what do you got there? Because they thought it was some sort of important paper. And so I was showing it to them, and they're like, oh, okay. And they were, you know, not that impressed, not as impressed as I was. And they're like, what are you going to do with that? And so I was like, well, hello, you know, I mean, I have journals here, you know, they'll go in journals. But, you know, they were not on our same wavelength, obviously. So I got that. And then I also got this little beautiful thing. Let me see if I can find something to put down so you can see it better. Let's just put this here, if that helps, maybe. Does that help? Oh, yeah, that helps a little bit, so you can see it. This is obviously a vintage cookbook. It's in horrible shape because, you know, it just is. But I just fell in love with it. I thought it was so pretty. I'm obviously going to take it apart because it's obviously coming apart. But I just thought it was so pretty. The cover mostly. And it's got all these little handwritten things tucked in here. And there's some more handwritten stuff. Recipes, I assume. Another handwritten recipe. And then this looks like maybe somebody started a collage. Maybe this is like fussy cut. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it's like an image that's glued onto this. So I don't really know what this is, but it's tucked in the back of it. So we're going to leave it there for right now. But anyways, I just thought this was so pretty. The cover and the front and back cover. Like I said, it's not in the greatest of shape. It needs to be cleaned up and maybe sealed. Maybe I can seal it so it won't continue to unravel. But let's see if we got any kind of a date anywhere on it. I'm not thinking so. And I haven't Googled it to see if, you know, if it's worth anything or. But again, I just paid $1 or $2 for it, so I don't see any kind of a date. Made only by the N.K. Fairbank Company. How to use cotyledone. I guess cotyledone is a shortening or a edible fat is what they're called. Or what they're calling it. Yeah, so I don't see any dates on it anywhere, but I don't know that I'll use the insides, but for sure it's got some interesting stuff in it. Like there are many food preparations in the market now, malted, peptonized, albumized, adapted to nearly every condition or degree of invalidism. Milk has come to be considered by many physicians as the most suitable food for those seriously ill. So it's got some interesting stuff in it. But I didn't get it for the insides. I got it for the cover because, you know, that's what we do. But it's still pretty cool. Anyways, so that is that. So that was all I got. This little book, the blueprints, and the pottery bowl. Because I didn't want to spend all my profits. So that's that. That's my little wrap up and follow up from this weekend's event. But I wanted to do a little chit chat with you guys, mainly because it's kind of where I'm at with my journal making and all that right now. So I'm not going to go over any kind of techniques or anything like that. I just kind of want to chat with you guys and break down and talk to you a little bit about setting goals. Mainly because when I started this, I was not in it to go to shows or anything like that. I didn't do it that. I did it because I was curious about it, and I've made one or two and fell in love with it. And since I started working on them and I created so many, sure, I could give them away, and a lot of them I did. But I started, as friends and family were asking about them and wanting to do custom orders, and it just kind of has blossomed. I started this back in September. It is the end of April now, but I started it back in September, and from September to December 31st, so January 1st, I kind of sat down. It's like, okay, we're going into the new year. I'm going to set some goals. Let me just say this. I have never been a goal setter. My mom has told me for the last 45 years, you need to set goals. Set you a goal. Set you a basic goal. Be a goal setter. Goals this, goals that. Goals will help you. Da, da, da. I've never set goals, ever. I mean, I may have wrote some things down, but never followed through with them, never stuck to them. But December 31st, January 1st, I was sitting down kind of going over my journal making and what I had kind of opened up from September to December. And I decided that, let's do this. Let's like really set a goal and see what we can do with this, because people were liking it and I was loving it. And so I sat down and I looked over my September to December to see, how many I made and how many I sold and, all this and that. And for September through December of 22, I made 14 journals. I don't know what my stats are off the top of my head, but 7 of those I gifted for holiday gifts for friends, things like that. And I sold a few, I don't know how many. And then going into 2023, I had 4 available in my inventory. Now, I was impressed with this number right here. 14 journals. I made 14 journals from September to December 31st. I was impressed. I had made a couple of dollars. I sold a few, and I had made right at $200. So I was like, okay, but this was the main number I was stuck on, the 14 journals. So I thought, okay, going into 2023, let's set some goals. I wasn't stressed about it. I just jotted down in my notebook, because I keep a notebook of all the journals I make, where they're posted, how much I sold them for, who I sold them to, when I sold them, all my notes about them. So I thought, okay, if I made 14 in that amount of time, surely I can make 30. I'm going to double that. So I sat down and I said, okay, make 30 journals. My other goal for 2023, these are yearly. This is for the year. My other goal for 2023 was to get my Etsy up and going. My third goal was to get my YouTube up and going. Again, these are yearly goals. My fourth goal was, I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you guys right now, to make $1,000 from journals. Those were my 4 goals going into 2023. So last week I sat down, I was getting ready for this event, and I thought, where am I at with my goals that I just kind of jotted down? Again, I've still been keeping up with everything, but I was curious as to where I was at with this. And obviously, since you guys are here with me, my YouTube is up and going. My Etsy shop is up and going. It's currently on vacation right now because of this last weekend's show, and then I've got a show next weekend. So, but it's up and going. I've got my journals listed there. I've got a few pieces of ephemera listed there. I've not got everything I want up there because I haven't got any of my collage work up there, but it's up and going. So that's done. Last week when I was sitting down here, I finished up number 30 in my journals. So I've made 30 journals so far this year. I got to putting my figures to it, and I have made from my journals over $1,000. I don't know what my total figure is, but I have reached that goal. So my goals for 2023 have been set and made and marked off. And so now what? Let me say, I am so shocked and proud of myself and excited that I actually sat down and wrote these down, and they came true. I made them happen. I focused on them. I made them happen. So what do I do now? So I thought, okay, well, I will just make some more goals. So I've been thinking about it this last week as to how to break this down, because I met all 4 of these goals in the first 3 or 4 months of the year, and so how do I want to break this down? And so what I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna look at this as January through April. I had those 4 goals. They were met. My theme for those 4 months was, let's do this. Remember, I said, okay, let's do this. I looked at it the end of December. I said, okay, this is looking good. Let's do this. So that's kind of my goal, my mantra for those 4 months. So I was at a dilemma. Do I want to set a goal for the rest of the year? Or do I want to break it down and do a May through August, 4 months, and then a September through December? So instead of breaking the year into quarterly, because the way that it all fell into April, I broke it into thirds. So we have 4 months, 4 months, and 4 months. I'm mathing for y'all. I'm just kind of blabbing my thoughts. So I've been thinking my May through August theme is going to be use what you have. As we all know, we all have quite a stash. And as we all know, we love to thrift and we love to add to our stash. But I'm going to focus on using what I have for the next 3 or 4 months. My plan, as I said earlier, is I had an event this past weekend. I've got an event next weekend. And then kind of my plan is to this summer not really do any big events until the fall, October, November. And so for the next 4 months, May, June, July, August, I'll be building my inventory. And so this to me is a perfect mantra to have for this next 4 months goals. So what are my goals going to be? I have a list a mile long of specific YouTube videos that I want to create for you guys. Some are tutorials, some are just kind of going over some things. So I want to do at least 4, that's 1 a month, specific YouTube videos. And I'm not going to tell you what all they are because my list is a mile long and I'll just choose from that list. Again, some of them are tutorials, some of them are for beginners, some are, just random thoughts that I have that I want to share with you guys about something I've done or something I'm working on or whatever. So goal number 1 is going to be 4 specific YouTube videos. Number 2, because this is what I'm struggling with right now, I want to get my inventory to 30 and keep it around there. That is 30 minimum. If I make 40, that's great. But 30 minimum. And I say I'm struggling with this right now because I went into this weekend's event with 23 journals and I sold 6. So whatever that math is. What is that math? 23 minus 6 is 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, yeah, is 17. So right now in my inventory, I have 17. And I'm not comfortable with that number going into my next weekend's event. I would like to have 20-ish or more, obviously, but that's an unreachable goal because I have this week, this weekend, and a little bit of next week to work on journals to get ready for my next event. Now, some of you are saying, why did you do that to yourself? Because I'm learning, because I'm new at this, and because I had low expectations that I would even sell 1 journal. So I initially felt comfortable saying, oh, well, I'll do this event this weekend, and then I'll do this event this next weekend, and I'll have enough inventory because I'm probably not going to sell any. But I sold 6 journals, and so my inventory's low. So I need to really focus on building my inventory. Again, that's my plan for the summer anyways, to build my inventory going into the fall and holiday season later this year. So I want to have a minimum of 30 journals. Now, my journals range from being very full of stuff to being very naked, to being just a neat old cover full of random papers with no pockets, no tags, no embellishments, nothing, to, again, to the more extreme that has pockets and tags and all that stuff on every page. So, but I need a variety. Right now, majority of the 17 I have are blank. And people buy those because they can do what they want to with them. They are a smaller price point, but I really want to make the ones that have all the stuff in them, because those are more fun to make and they're more fun for people to enjoy and experience. So inventory to 30 and keep it around there. That's the caveat, and keep it around there. Goal number 3, this one's kind of big and weird and controversy. I'm going to use up or remove all my Disney. Now, I say use up or remove. I have a bunch of Disney themed, Disney books, Disney this, Disney that, and I don't want to get into all that copyright and all that craziness that you can really get into. And so I feel like it's best for me to clear that out of my stash. Use it up by making journals and giving them away, or, or just removing / getting rid of, selling the stash I have that's all Disney related. And I have a variety from any Disney character you can think of, because I think the books that you do with the Disney characters and the Disney themes are very cute. I love them. But again, I don't want to get into all that copyright stuff. I just don't want to do that. And so it's best for me right now, before I get into it, to go ahead and clean that out of my stash. Call it a spring cleaning, a spring de-stash, whatever. But I want to really get rid of anything that is potentially copyright. I know most everything could be considered copyright. And I know it's a fine line that we walk as artists using books and magazines and photos and things like that. But I know Disney is a big one that doesn't like that. And they have a little bit more money than I do. And so I'm not going to even test that water. I don't even want to go there. So number 3 is to use up, remove all my Disney stuff. Get that out of my realm of stash so I can just create more freely and not have to stress about any of that. So, goal number 4 is I want to create at least, I'll put at least 2 storybook journals. And these don't include the little golden books. Those are considered storybooks because I keep the story intact. But storybooks, like if any of you have seen my Miss Maple journal, I absolutely love that journal. It has sold and it went to a new home, not around me. So I will probably likely never ever see it again. But I had so much fun creating that book, keeping the story intact, but creating the story into a journal. I had so much fun with it. And I have a stack about this thick, which doesn't look very thick, but when you think about it in the terms of children's books, the little scholastic, 10-page children's books, that's a lot of children's books. I have a stack about this thick of children's books that I really think would be fun storybook journals. And so I want to do that. I want to at least do 2 of them. More if it warrants, but, at least 2. And so that's my 4 goals. I'm kind of got this number 4 in my brain for whatever reason. The first 4 months I had 4 goals and I met those 4 goals. And so we're going 4 more months and setting 4 more goals and doing 4 videos. And half of that is 2 storybooks. And so I'm stuck on number 4. But I have a little bonus goal. And this is, this goal is going to be kind of a research / / explore options for a fall workshop here in Central Arkansas. I would love to do a 2 or 3 day full-on workshop to show somebody from start to finish how to do a basic junk journal. I would love to do that. It's not something that you can do in a couple of hours or a Saturday afternoon workshop. So it's gonna kind of be like a 2 or 3 day thing. So I'm gonna research and explore options. I'm not gonna set anything in stone, but I'm gonna just kind of sniff out and see what my options are for where I could have this and what I could do, for, where it could be, and, what would it entail, and if there's interest, and just kind of, that's all the research and exploring. So that's kind of a bonus goal, to see if we can make something happen with that. So, and I've played around with my 4 goals for September to December, but I don't want to set those in stone yet, because that's several months away, and this may affect this. So I have penciled around some goals. One of them has to do with my total of sales for the year. One of them has to do with my total number of journals made. Number 3, I would like to do, and this one's kind of set in stone, and I played around with it today, my calendar. I would like to at least do 2 big holiday shows, October, November. So yeah. Number 4, I've played around with. So every year I participate in it's an online type. First off, every year I participate in the month of October, and I do Inktober. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with it, but it's a kind of a little monthly challenge for the month of October to create something every day in using ink. Inktober. There is a guy who's put this together many years ago, and he posts a prompt list, and he asks you to tag on social media and all that good stuff. I participate in that every year and have for many, many years. And it just kind of keeps my drawing skills, or lack thereof, in the forefront, at least on a yearly basis. I don't draw a lot, and I'm okay with that. But for the month of October, I try to do the prompt list and jot down, scribble, do one of their little dot drawings. I don't spend a lot of time on them. I just do little sketch drawings. And then for the month of November, I've participated in the last 2 years in a online thing called Trovember. My mind is blank as to who does that, who hosts it. Oh, horrible of me. I'll figure it out, and I'll tag it in this information below. But anyways, it's a collage artist who, she puts together this monthly collage themed event. It's Trovember, and you sign up for it on her website, and every day of the month she sends you something to add to a collective piece. I'm trying to think of where my last 2 years are. Hang on, hold tight. Let's do this. Let's be cute. I'm gonna be cute. Hold, please. Let me go get my Trovember pieces. So the idea behind Trovember, it's a November collage art challenge. She sends you a little video and a little prompt every day for the month of November, and you create on this one piece. You're creating one piece of art for the month of November. Now, the first year I participated, I had no idea what I was doing, obviously, because that's what we do the first year we participate. But this is what I came up with the first year of November. I absolutely love this. Love this piece. So, how it works is, this is on a big piece of canvas board. And I just had it and thought, well, I'll start with this. So, like one of the prompts, actually I had it upside down. And I need to stick that down. But anyways, like one of the prompts was to add a number. And so that day, the only thing I did was add that number to this piece. Another day was to add a piece of food. Well, so I cut up a chocolate bar wrapper into squares and added that as my food. The other day was to drip some black paint. So we have dripped black paint. The other day might have been to add some music. I've got some music notes. So anyways, this is a collective 30 days of November. The idea is to go through your trove of stash and use pieces that you have. You know, I had a black number. I had a hands that I just really loved. And there's some texture. And one of the prompts was to paint using something other than like a paintbrush. This is what I used. I think this was like some pine needles that I got out of the front yard and dipped them in some blue paint. But anyways, I love this piece. I love it. I love pieces of this piece. I like that as itself. I like that as itself. I absolutely loved doing this. It was so much fun. Every day we just added something, whatever the prompt was. Add black paint, so I dripped black paint. Add this, so I added that. So it wasn't very time consuming, but every day it had me adding to this piece. So this was my November 2021. So for 2022, I participated again, and I decided I wanted to do only black and white. This one's quite a bit bigger, but you can kind of see everything's black and white. Now the prompts in this were, and she tried to get me. One of the prompts was add something red. Well, I was doing black and white. I had decided I was doing this black and white. So, whoops, here's my red. So yeah, add some music. I added Mary's song. What was another one? She add some texture. This is a piece of fabric that's kind of glued on. Yeah, so this was my November 2022 piece. And I love it. I haven't decided if I like my other one better. But I love them both, and they're a lot of fun. So, going back to my goals. September through December, I will be doing Trovember, but I haven't decided maybe if I want to work it into my journal somehow. I don't know. I haven't decided. But Trovember I will be doing in November. Inktober I'll be doing in October. But so I'm playing around with those goals for the end of the year. I haven't set them in stone yet. And my bonus is to research and explore the Patreon site. I think it's cool, the concept, but I just don't know what I could offer and not feel guilty by charging you guys, if that makes any sense. So, again, those are for another day, though. So, I'm setting my goals for May through August. Oh, so my theme, use what you have. My theme I'm playing around with for September through December is finish strong. Because I started this year focusing on my journals, and it's like, let's do this. So let's do this. We're going to use what we have, and we're going to finish strong. That's kind of my thought process for the whole year. So, 4 goals and a bonus for May through August. Use what you have is my mantra. 4 specific YouTube videos. My inventory at 30 minimum to keep on hand-ish. Use up and remove all my Disney. And create at least 2 storybook journals, not including little golden books. And then my bonus is to research and explore options for a fall workshop here in Central Arkansas. So, all of this to say, I think it's important to set goals in this realm and aspect. I have a whole new love for goals because those 4, I was able to set them and complete them, and the feeling of accomplishment was hard to explain, but it was great. So, I'm here to say I'm a fan of goal setting. I am really a fan of goal setting with your art and your journal making and your creating. If you are new to this and not sure what you're doing or where you're going or why you're doing it, you're just kind of willy-nilly in it, and you want to be somewhere, you want to go to shows, or you want to sell your art, or you want to create so many journals, write it down. Write it down. Take out a piece of paper, scribble it down. That's kind of what I did with my first 4. I was in my notebook and I was like, okay, going into 2023, we're going to do this, 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 and this. And I focused on those 4 and I made it happen. And so, all that to say, again, if you are new into this, or if you've just been doing this forever and you're not getting where you want to go, wherever that is, or you're not feeling accomplished or feeling like you're doing any good, don't get me wrong, you are. If you're creating, you're doing good, period. But give that a try. You don't have to set 4. That's just the number for whatever weird reason I'm stuck on. But I encourage you to give it a try. Sit down, write down your goals. We're coming up on the middle of the year very quickly. So make your goals for the rest of the year. Or, set one goal or set one mantra about what for the next couple of months, but write it down. I just wanted to encourage everybody to do that. Because, again, my mother has for 45 years told me to do that. Write your goals down, write your goals down. Let's set some goals. And about everything else in my life, I have not done that, ever. But for whatever weird reason, I did for this year. I set 4 goals for this year. And I accomplished them, I'm going to say, in record time, because they were for the year. And we're going into the 5th month of the year, and I've met them, and I need to, where do I go now? Keep setting more goals. Keep working towards whatever it is. And again, I don't know whatever it is that I'm doing. I just know I'm enjoying this. I'm creating stuff that people like. I'm able to relax and really enjoy it. And I get to create, and so I just want to keep doing it. And so in order for me to keep doing it, I have to get rid of or sell or move the pieces I create, because I don't have a lot of room to store everything, and I can't keep everything. And so I need to set goals to make that happen. I need to sell these things in order to pay for my habit of thrifting and finding all the cool stuff and collecting all the cool stuff and creating with all the cool stuff. So I just think it's working for me, for my journal making. Have I set goals in any other aspect of my life? No. Should I? Probably so. Will I? I don't know. But I'm just astonished as to how it worked for me with my journal making and my creating. And the last 3 or 4 months have been an absolute joy for me. The last couple weeks have been a little stressful, I admit, getting ready for last week's event. But it's been a lot of fun. It's always a joy to create and be in my zone and just do. And it's always a joy to have a finished product. And it's always a joy to have that finished product be in the hands of somebody who is not artsy and does not do this kind of stuff. And so they are blown away. I'm sure you guys have experienced this when you hand over one of your journals to somebody who doesn't do this, and they're just amazed by it. And that's a good feeling, to know that you can create something that people like and enjoy and can use and are just impressed by it. So I want to continue that, and the last, like I said, 3 or 4 months have been really good for me, and so I want to continue it. And so I will set some more goals. We just did. And I will see how they go. This is going to be my hardest thing. I don't think I'm going to have trouble with any of these 4 or my bonus 5. I'm going to have trouble with this one right here. My mantra of use what you have, shall quit buying more, use what you have. I have plenty of books. I have plenty of paper. I have plenty of ephemera stuff. I have plenty of ribbon and thread, and I don't have plenty of glue. I've got to get glue. It's on my list. Both glue and glue sticks. But I have plenty of fabric. I have plenty of lace and trim. I have plenty of buttons and beads and paints and stickers and all that. So use what I have, unless it's free. If somebody's going to give me something, because they're getting rid of it, I'll take it. But use what I have. Don't go thrifting. So anyways, I'm going to jump off here. I just kind of wanted to sit down and chit chat with you guys a little bit about goal setting and encourage you to kind of sit back and take a look at what you're doing with your journals, with your art. And if you're perfectly happy doing what you're doing, I'm not saying you have to set goals. I'm just wanting to give you an example of what worked for me and how I was kind of blown away by it, honestly. And so I love it. I think it's great now. So I'm encouraging everybody to take a moment and sit back and see what they're doing, what they want to do, what they could be doing, what they need to not do. Just kind of take a spring cleaning assessment of what you're doing with your journals, and you may do an assessment and realize, everything's great. I'm making journals, I'm selling journals, I'm creating, I'm having fun, I'm loving it, and that's great. That's fine. get crazy with your goals and set a crazy amount of like that you have to do or that you want to do, or, you know, dream goals. You know, man, it would be great if I made, which this is kind of where this one was. Man, that would be cool if I made $1,000 doing this. And I have, because I've created over 30 journals and I've sold them. And so I've met those goals, and that to me is just great. So I'm going to jump off here, like I said I was going to, and I will leave you with that. I have another video that I need to upload. It's from the other night when I was just having a little create with me session. I thought I uploaded it, but apparently not, because, you know, technology and me don't get along. So I'll be uploading these probably tomorrow, because it's getting kind of late and it's time to go to bed. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about setting goals. And I hope that some of you are encouraged to sit back and take a look at what you're doing. And again, if it's working for you, great. Have fun with it, though. Yeah, so that's all I have. I will see you guys soon. Again, I have this week and this weekend and a few days of next week to work on some journals, because I have another event coming up in this next week. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So I will be back with probably a lot of Create With Me videos. I haven't decided which journals I'm going to work on. I've started on my wine journal. Let me just show you guys real quick. I started on my wine journal the other day. I think it's on that other that video that I haven't uploaded yet. But tonight I played around with wine dyeing some papers. And the lighting is probably not going to show you how cool these are. But my papers are so pretty. They stink. They smell like wine. Some really strong red wine. But they're kind of drying right now. I've got them kind of in the first stage of drying. They're just kind of piled up here on a stack. And I'll spread them out tomorrow and let them finish air drying. But they'll be really pretty in my wine journal that I'm working on. So I will be working on that a little bit. But I haven't decided what other theme I'm going to do just yet. But I'm sure you guys will be in on it. So anyways, that's it for wrapping up my last weekend's event. And kind of giving you the motherly lecture about goal setting. And so we will see you soon.